is woven into this institution and this community. Dr. Horn is an honorary doctorate holder, Algoma University's first chancellor, and a co-founder of the Children of Shingwauk Alumni Association. She has recently appointed to the Order of Ontario, one of the province's highest honors, in recognition for extraordinary leadership and lifelong commitment to truth, healing, and education. Shirley brings a vital perspective on the Indian residential school experience, told with the heart and truth that only someone who has walked these halls can share. Her voice ensures that the lived reality of survivors is not confined to the archives or textbooks, but continues to guide us as we move forward in reconciliation. As the university's community is working together every day in a space shaped by this history, we have a responsibility to listen and to honor the courage it takes to speak these truths out loud. Today is about resilience, it is about alumni excellence, and it is about community. And it is also about ensuring that stories like Shirley's are carried forward with dignity and respect. Please join me in offering a heartfelt welcome to Joanne Robertson and Dr. Shirley Horn. So for today's book launch, what we would like to do is we'd like to invite Joanne to provide some readings from the book today for us. And then we'll be looking to Dr. Shirley Horn to provide some insights and some of her moments of significance. And then after that, we'll open up with a Q&A. And I do encourage everybody here as well to partake in the door prizes that are going to be available to purchase the books, and refreshments will be arriving shortly so that this way we can spend that last little bit of moments really enjoying this moment together. So with that, I'm going to pass it off to
Chimigwich Elizabeth, you made us sound really awesome, which made me nervous now. Okay, first I want to start by thanking Shirley for trusting me with her stories. And it took me a long time to get to this point, so thank you for not croaking before we made it here today. I kept telling her that, you better not die. So, so I picked out 4 of the chapters are just short, but I picked out 4, maybe 5. So the first one I'll share is to town. Are we going to town? I asked my sister as we lined up in the canoe. Yes, Florence said, but she had sadness on her face. I was confused because visiting Uncle Brody always meant lots of belly laughs. We all piled into the canoe and away we went. Reaching over the side, I touched lily pads and plants as we quietly glided by. Dragging my fingers through the water, I created a tiny wake that would soon disappear from the river. And I chose this one to read because all the times that I was talking to Shirley, like she remembers her dad's canoe. I asked her what color it was. She remembers where her and her siblings all sat in the canoe. So I made sure that when I drew that little sketch on this page that I had everyone sitting where she recalled that they all sat. The next little chapter is called Too Young. At first I was too young to go to class. Every morning a supervisor told me to put on my coat and walk alone to the minister's house, which was a good distance from the school. I was to become the playmate of the minister's young daughter. I made the long trek there and back alone every morning. One day, the girl gave me a tiny toy to take back to the school with me. It was a little stuffed gray mouse, small enough to keep in my pocket. It was the first gift I received at St. John's Indian Residential School. I spent my afternoons back in the dormitory, separate from the others. All the supervisors were busy with the older kids, so there was no one to watch me. I had to do everything for myself. I had to entertain myself. I did everything alone. I played with my little gray mouse. There was no one to watch over me in the afternoons, so for my safety, they tied my ankle to the foot of the bed. And this is one of the funnier stories she shared. The Shingwauk move. Apparently, she's taught it to all of her family. There were other kids I didn't like because they were mean. We had conflicts, even at an early age, and we had to figure things out on our own. I was little, skinny, and real wiry. We had to make our own comfort, and we had to find ways to protect ourselves from bullies. One day, one of the big girls came at me. I didn't know how to get her before she got me, so I ran toward her. I didn't think, there wasn't time. I jumped up on her back before she did the same to me, and I grabbed her by the shoulders, put my knee in her back, and took her down. We hit the ground hard, me on top of her, and that was that. Word spread fast about my Shingwauk move. If you mess with Shirley, she'll put you down no matter how big you are. No, nobody bothered with me much after that. And the scarf. When we could, we went for walks downtown. There were big ditches down the side of the road where they were building houses. One day I saw something bright in the ditch. One of the other girls saw it at the same time. I dove for it like a baseball player, and I managed to get it before she could. It was a beautiful silk scarf with flowers, but it was covered in mud. I took it home and washed it. The other girl carried a grudge for a long while. Eventually, we had a drag 'em out fight over it. I used my Shingwauk move on her and kept the scarf. And this one, the confirmation dress, this one, when I did a lot of the drawings, they might look simple, but I did ask Shirley for a lot of the details and tried to include them. Like for the confirmation dress, the first time I showed it to her, it wasn't long enough, and the sleeves were too long, so I shortened them. And the little shoulders, she said they were really puffy, so I had to make puffy shoulders. But this story really stuck with me because before Shirley went to residential school, she was already a Christian, or at least your grandfather was. So this story really hit me hard because in the end, it wasn't a very Christian-like thing what happened to you, but I'll read it. The confirmation dress. In the evenings, we went to the sewing room to make our confirmation dresses, and the supervisor helped us. My dress was all white with a big white skirt. I loved it. I cut the pattern out myself and hemmed it all by hand. Then I embroidered flowers all around the bottom of the skirt and on the collar. It took me forever to embroider all the pretty little pink flowers, but they were beautiful. The dress made me happy. I had such a wonderful feeling making it. I stood tall in church that day, proud to wear something so beautiful that I had made myself. But I wore it only once. After the ceremony, it was taken from me and I never saw it again. It always makes me cry, this one. I don't know where they took it or why they did, just that it wasn't mine anymore. It wasn't like getting slapped on my hand. It hit my heart so hard it left a mark. And I made something for Shirley, and I know there's lots of beaters out there, so please don't judge me. But I put a lot of heart into it, and I'll give it to her now. Open it first. You might not like it. You're welcome. I'll give you a hug now. One of the first stories that I heard from Shirley was here when we were students together, and it was my first year here. She graduated in 2009 at age 69, and I graduated a year later, and I was 50. But we were in Professor Sheila Redmond's class, I think, and I didn't read this story today, but it was the one where she was dared to faint out in the chapel, which she pulled off really good and did. But that was the very first story I heard. So when I drew that picture, I always picture her being carried out with one eye open, like she pulled a fast one. So that was one of the really fun ones to draw. And one of the other fun ones to draw, and I have her in my contacts with this picture now, was the picture when they snuck out to the barn before breakfast that one day. This one. Anyways,
that picture of the barn. The barn used to be way down there in the parking lot, and we used to do things. We were risk takers. If we wanted to have fun, we had to make our own. And one of the things that I don't know, I hadn't done it in the past, but I'd heard the other girls talking about it, about going into the barn and being able to swing from the loft, one loft to the other on this big rope. And I thought, I want to go do that. So we all got together and we used to, as an excuse to go out there, we used to go down to the kitchen, and there had a big pail of, what's what they called it, slop pail, because it was the leftovers from the dinner the night before and from the staff dining room and so on. So that was the food for the pigs. So we used to go down to the kitchen and grab the bucket, and if anybody stopped us, we're giving this to the farmer to take to the pigs, but we didn't tell them we were taking it. So that's what we did. We used to go out to the barn. It was still dark because it was 6 o'clock in the morning, and especially in the wintertime, so it was still dark, and we could sneak over there without anybody seeing us, and give the food to the pigs, and then run for the hayloft and have so much fun. And then we'd come back in time for breakfast. We'd listen for the bell to call us to breakfast. And we started running in. I said, hey, we're all full of hay. So we started cleaning each other off. Well, we couldn't get it all off. And I was the last one. And the supervisor was so busy with the ones in the front. I just cleaned my hay off me, and I went right by her and walked into the line. So because she was so busy scolding the other girls, I got away with it. So we did that all the time, did things like that. I want to thank Joanne for writing these stories. I always I continually think about that, and how that would make such a good reading material, and just in short stories like that, because there were many, many short stories in our life. And that was one of the ways that we dealt with the negativity that was surrounding us. We made our own joy, and uh, we reveled in it, and that was the way that helped a lot of us to get through the year. I used to come back to the school in September. It was very sad when that happened, but by November I was okay. I was out of it. I was into enjoying my life again with my friends who I had made, and still have them to this day. And we shared uh, many, many adventures. There's another one in the book where I ran away from the school as well, and I did we didn't put all that in there, but it's a very long story, and the whole length of the story is not in there. But we ran away and did things like that, that got uh, taken back to the school, ended up back here, got our hair all cut off, and we looked silly for a few months. But it was an adventure, and we always kept that in our memories and in our thoughts and in our hearts. Um, that's where resilience comes from. That's what it's all about. And um, you find this strength as a child in your spirit. Your spirit gives you that strength. And you find out how to use it. How do you use your strength to be a happy person? I remember another colleague of mine. She was in the residential school. She was a few years older than me, but and she worked with children of Shingwauk right from the beginning as well. She passed away now, and we miss her. Her name is, oh, geez, I can't, Susie, Susie Jones. And we used to have very good conversations together about life at Shingwauk. And she said, you know what? I really made the decision to be happy while I was here. And, you know, like she was 5, 6, 7 years old. And she made that decision. We used to have to deal with a lot of, it's almost like adult decisions at a very, very young age. We lived with our emotions, and we sympathized with each other. We empathized with each other. We shared. We did all the things to bring the closeness, to create that closeness that we didn't have, even though my sister was in the other dorm and the other one was in the senior dorm, and my brothers were all across on the boys' side, you know. So they were my family, but we weren't allowed to interact with the family. So we created another family, and we all did that. And if you didn't, you suffered. You suffered a lot. And so that's why I'm forever grateful to the girls that I had made friends with. We'd come together year after year after year, and when we'd come back in the fall, we'd talk about our summer vacation and what we did, and you know who we met, and what did our families do? Did we celebrate? What? And it was just, it gave us something to share when we got back to the schools. We talked about going blueberry picking and fishing and doing all the things that we love to do and families love to do. And I have that special relationship with the canoe because we lived uh, down the reserve in Chapleau. It wasn't even our reserve. Miss Cree never got the reserve till 80 years later. And so we lived down in the Chapleau Reserve. They put us down there. Our whole community, they moved our whole community down to the Chapleau Reserve. And it's just what they did at that time. You had no say. You had no say in where you were going, not even as an adult. You had no say that that's not our reserve. We want to live in our own reserve. Give us our reserve that we're supposed to have. And it wasn't until I became chief of Missinaba Cree First Nation in 1995 and launched the land claim to get our community back. 25 years later, with another chief that was in, we'd gone through 2 or 3 chiefs at that time, and we finally got a settlement with the federal government. When they talk about negotiations, it's only negotiations on their part. There's no negotiation on the part of the First Nation. And that's why it took so long, such a long stretch, to be without our homeland. And that's all we could think of was we were building our community in Sault Ste. Marie. We had to come to Sault Ste. Marie. We were up in Thunder Bay at first, and I said, too far away. Let's go to the Sioux at least, and we'll be close to our own territory and our own land. So we'd drive up to Wawa and over to where the community of Missinaba was established at that time. So it's been a pretty long journey, a pretty interesting one. One filled with hope and tragedy in some cases, and not knowing what's going to happen, but always having to keep the faith in terms of the value of our First Nation people, our relatives, the value of that keeps you going and moving towards saying one day it'll all come together and we'll be back in our community. I was just telling Joanne just before uh, we got started. I said, Joanne, it's finally here. The day we always talked about, and that's the way it is when you're living for today and so on. All of a sudden, that day you've been working so hard to make happen, sharing our stories, sharing our tears, because that's what we did. And I thank Joanne for all her patience with me and her incredible talent. She's got such and the way she put the book together, we were very concerned about what are we going to put in a residential school book. We didn't want to traumatize children who would be reading the book today. And I think it pulls at the heartstrings, but it doesn't traumatize children. Gotten feedback from a couple of people that read the book to their children, and it just made them ask questions about the residential school, and that's what we wanted, and that's why we, in the first place, when Joanne and I were talking, we talked about how and that was very, very difficult to come to exactly what it was that we should be putting in that book. And Joanne, she did the photography, which is the real people, and the drawing on top of it. The photographs are all black and white, depicting that era, and the drawings are all colorful and add a lightness to the book. So that was a really good balance in how it turned out to be, that you could read that and not get traumatized by that. And I think Joanne did an incredible job. I thank her very, very, very much, and for that opportunity that she chose to write my story, and because that's what the total goal of the children of Shingwauk. Oh, there's my daughter. the, the children of Shingwauk, which is the organization we founded in 1990. That's a long time ago, and very, very many former students came through in those years, and our circle is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And so that's why we feel it's really important for us to be dealing and teaching and urging the next generation to come forward and take over the reins. And I think all of this work, things like the storytelling, the ceremonies, the having the powwows, and the sweats, and all the teachings that are being undertaken by across the road as well. They're always celebrating something over there. And I like to go to that too. And you're always celebrating something here too. And I'm just, as I came in with my son, looked at the construction out there, because the last time it was bare ground, and I'm going, wow, it looks really good. You can feel that, just like when when she started the book. I can feel that same feeling. And I think it's going to be really, really great. Anyway, you talk a little bit.
Shirley was saying that the book's being well received. And so I have one more gift for her. It was our publisher emailed one day and they were really excited. And I didn't know what it meant, so I had to Google it. But the book was chosen as a Junior Library Guild Gold Standard book. And it also has a star review. And most of the books are soft cover, but for the Junior Library Guild library people, they get hardcovers. So they sent each of us one copy. So yeah. I think we've been talking about, it's been a long time coming, this book, and I think it was October 5th, 2022, where we had our first meeting. And that was because our mutual friend, Joni McGuffin, had said that Shirley has such great stories. We need to save them. So why don't you write a book? And I'm like, no, I don't think so. But but then she set up the meeting and I started hearing her stories, and then I found the courage to do it because, like she said, they're leaving, walking on. So it's important that we pick up the work so that Canada's nasty history isn't forgotten, so it's not repeated. Anything else you want to say, or should we do questions now, or?
Well, that's amazing. Thank you so much, Joanne, for sharing the readings. Thank you so much, Shirley, for sharing your insights. As I mentioned in my opening speech, this is a day about community, and seeing everybody here is a prime example of just how much our community shows up for each other. So thank you so much for being here. Before we jump into the Q&A, the Shingwauk Anishinaabe Student Association would like to send Joanne and Shirley a warm acknowledgement. So with that, I invite Hannah Tebow up to make a small address for them.
Thank you, Liz. So my name is Hannah. I'm the president of the Shingwauk Anishinaabe Student Association here at the university. So today we take a moment to honor these two strong Anishinaabe Kwe who have guided us through our community with strength, humility, and who have shown me that truth, resilience, and responsibility can be carried in so many different ways. On behalf of the Shingwauk Anishinaabe Student Association, I'd just like to say a big chimiigwech for your guidance, grit, and vulnerability within our community. So we have a little something for you too. In many of our communities, a star blanket is given to honor someone who has walked a strong path and who guides others with their light. The star blanket represents the direction and guidance of our ancestors, and the warmth of the blanket represents the care and protection of community. So today it is our privilege to present this star blanket to both you, Shirley, and Joanne, as a small gift of gratitude for your courage in sharing truth and leadership for the path that you both continue to guide our light for. So just miigwech to Shirley and Joanne for your strength, your voice, and for reminding us that even though the hardest histories have occurred here, our people will continue to rise. So miigwech.
Oh yeah. Takes a little effort, but I can get up. Yeah. Where do you want me to go? Wow. Oh, thank you.
And Joanne, if you want to Thank you, Joanne. hot in here, so you might want to take them off.
Sorry, security blanket for the
Yeah.
hard questions we're going to get.
Thank you so much, Sasa, for you're gonna make me cry. Right? It's such a moving and meaningful gift for somebody to receive. And I mean, our students show up for the CSAA just as the same way that they show up for our students. So we continue to look for future collaborations where we can learn from each other, the old to the young and the young to the old. So with that, I think it's okay for us to jump into a Q&A session. So what I'll do is that if anybody in the room has a question, please put up your hand. I'll hand you the microphone. Please share who you are and where you're visiting us from, whether you're AU student, staff, community member, and then who your question is for.
You don't have to if you don't want to.
I will though. Okay. The author. I would like to wish and say thank you from the bottom of my heart. Shirley Horn is my mother, and I read the story, and it's just amazing. It's beautiful. I think it should have been told a long time ago, and you've captured it, and I'm so grateful for that, because her legacy will live on, and the story will, let others know, especially if it's for the young children, right? They're gonna know, and they're gonna get some insight and understanding, and from that perspective, what it was like and how far we've come along to move forward. So I just want to say thank you very much.
I need a Kleenex. You guys are ruining it.
Oh, yes, you do, so the people online can hear you.
George Diamond and the CSAA. George sends this. I sent him pictures and videos. Two beautiful women. Great story that needed to be told. Joanne, it's so thoughtful on the deserving medallion. Congratulations. Big hugs to you both from everybody from the CSAA. Live.
Any other questions for either Joanne or Shirley?
Y'all are making sure I get my steps in today.
So I have a question for Shirley Horn. Who's your favorite great-granddaughter? Is it me? Thank you. That was
I just want to say something about the skirt that I'm wearing. For those of you that don't know, I wrote another book called The Water Walker. And it's about my friend Josephine Baumandaman. She passed away. But I wanted to wear this skirt today to remember her, because while I was working on Shirley's book, I was also thinking of Josephine Bob, because she also went to residential school. And it was also translated by her friend Shirley Williams, who she just walked on last year, I think. But one of the stories, when The Water Walker was, when Shirley translated it into Anishinaabe, I got to make that announcement at the Mush Hole in Six Nations, a residential school. So I just wanted to recognize those two survivors also, because I had them in mind when I was doing Shirley's story too.
Hello. Oh. So my heartfelt respect, love, and appreciation for, I'm sure, is thought-provoking lived experience, Shirley. My deep love and respect to you, to our author, and for one of our founding members of the Children of Shingwauk Alumni Association. These types of stories need to be told over and over and over again, so that it continues in our DNA and everybody across Canada. So Shirley, if you know her, has always been a trailblazer, not only within Children of Shingwauk Alumni Association, but throughout her life, being, I think, one of the first chiefs of your First Nation who didn't have a land base. So it's really evident when you see a story such as this and the vignettes that you've lived and are able to share with us. So deep respect, Shirley and Chimikwach, for sharing your story with us.
Ani Bojo, Jaden Nijnakas, Musquan, Nindom Dem, Tobacco Plains, Nindonjaba. I just wanted to say that I'm so honored to hear your story and to see two strong Anishinaabe Kwe up here. But I also wanted to take a moment to shout out Liz and our SASA president, Hannah. Watching you two Anishinaabe Kwe grow over the past 3 years and then seeing this beautiful presentation today has just been very heartwarming. And like, it's hard not to cry thinking about it, just you two and you two as well, like just such 4 strong female role models that I deeply value in my life. And having around, I just wanted to give you that respect and let you know that I love you and I see you guys and I'm very proud of you. So Chimi Gwetch.
Thank you.
What she said. 100%. Anyone else?
Thank you, Bojo, Kichitwakwe, Indigenous, Kitaganzi, being in Donjaba. My name's Erin. I'm an Algoma U alumni, Algoma U staff. But I do have a question for you, Joanne, just because I'm such a fan of your artistry. I'd love to hear about what inspired you, a little bit more about the process for your artwork. Were you exploring photographs, or did it have to go through the big boss and get a lot of suggestions, recommendations? I'd love to just hear more about it.
Shirley gave me a gift after our first meeting. She said that just go with it, whatever. I think it's because she's an artist too. She understands the creative process, so she just let me go. So after our first meeting, I immediately went to the archives, and Krista and Maddie, they were a lot of help with this. So I went to the archives, but I initially went there just to, like, I knew I'd be illustrating it, just to get pictures and to place her in this area. And so Krista emailed me a bunch of photos, but it wasn't till almost 2 years later that of looking in kids' library, books in the library and at Kohl's and stuff, that I came across at Value Village a book called The Nuffle Bunny by Mo Willems. And it's such a cute book, so if you haven't seen it, get it. But he illustrated on photographs that he took. And so then that solved the problem right away, I thought, of what I would do, because the photos add truth and reality, Shirley and I always say, to the images. And there's some photos in there that I had to take myself. And one that my husband had to take. He doesn't like when I mention him. He's really shy. But the one where the big bank, where the kids are at the bottom and they had to climb up the hill that first day, my husband was nice and he crawled down the bank. He had a hard time getting back up. But so that's how that came about. I was really concerned about, I draw really cartoony, and I wasn't sure how that was going to work with some of Shirley's stories, even though she had lots of humor, which was also a struggle for me, trying to balance the humor and the seriousness and the crappiness of residential schools. So, but we figured it out. And it was after I had a draft of everything that I'd show it to Shirley. And that's when she, or sometimes I'd ask, like, what color's a canoe and different things like that. But the only real thing she wanted changed, and I was happy to do it because she doesn't have a lot of photos of her childhood, was the confirmation dress. That one was, it was important that I got it right. But yeah, okay, thanks.
Are there any other questions for anybody? So I do have a question. So as we celebrate this moment, and not to jump past it, I'm curious, Joanne, what's next?
Well, I've been saying first is archiving the 2011 water walk from the four directions. I've been working on that forever. But then I want to write a book about the junior water walkers who were inspired by Grandma Josephine's work. And there's junior water walkers around the world. So I think that'll be a nice, happy thing to write about and celebrate all the kids that were inspired by our grandmother's work.
And Shirley, I'd have the same question for you. What's next?
Oh, let me see. I'm going to spend the summer up in Missinabie. I know. Took a long time to get home, but I got home finally. And I just wanted to say to Joanne that I've been thinking about this for quite a while, and I've been talking with the children of Shingwauk, and I thought, you know, we need somebody to write our history. And guess who I thought of? So she might have to write a big book pretty soon. Keep her busy for the next 15 years. So anyway, yeah. Joanne method of working, she was so kind to me all the time. We had coffee, special coffee she made sure we had, and got, yeah, and finding cozy corners to sit and talk, and she always was there with her big book and writing, and it was a fun experience. I experienced her kindness, her humor, her difficulties, challenges. Yeah, we shared a lot in that the writing process. But it's good to be here today, absolutely, and I especially appreciate all my friends that are here that I see that I've been. This is 70. Well, I'm going to say 75-year relationship with this building that I've had. I came here when I was 7. I went to the other residential school when I was 5. But it's from 7, and I'm now 85. So that's a pretty long relationship. So I consider this, you know, my territory. And I'm so glad to see that this is one of the things that we talked about long ago when we were first, the children of Shingwauk were first organized, is reclaiming Shingwauk. And we did it. We did it. There's a beautiful display in the old auditorium that talks about the history of the land, the history of the people, and the history of this area and what took place here. It's pretty comprehensive, and it's really, really well done. And then you see, of course, all the photographs that are in the hallways. That took years to do that. It took at least 10 years for the auditorium, I believe, 10 plus years. So these weren't activities that, you know, just came about. Took a lot of people, a lot of planning, a lot of meetings. As a matter of fact, my daughter said to me, "Yeah, you used to call yourself Shirley Meeting Horn." And it was true. It was so true that it takes a lot of that kind of energy to do the things that need to be done. And that's why it's so important that we start to encourage the younger generations to be a part of it and put their mark on things, and tell us about their communities and their lives and what they're learning in school. I I'm sure this book is going to be in the school curriculum at some time. I'm pretty sure. I have that feeling about it. And Joanne you've already got an award for this, don't you? Some literary award. Yes. Yeah, well, that's an award. You can start small. You start small. Yeah, it is. Yeah, and I just wanted to thank my friends for being here, and my acquaintances, and many of you have been my friend for a lot of years, and I really appreciate seeing your faces here and being a part of this wonderful. It's another milestone. I just love those milestones. Thank you. Miigwech.
I just have one question. Who is the artist who made our blankets here? No? Oh. And who is it? Do you remember?
So the creator of those blankets came from a community in Massey, and unfortunately, that person is on their healing journey, working towards their healing after battling cancer. So they are unable to join us for that. But I will make sure that they receive a large chimiwetch from you.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think that wraps up everything here for us. Please do make sure that you purchase your copy of Shirley, enter your name into the door prizes, and in about 10 minutes, I'll do that draw. If you want to stick around, take the chance, come on up, meet Shirley, meet Joanne, enjoy some of the refreshments in the back. We thank you so much for joining us. Miigwech.
Thanks for coming, everybody.
This too.
That's okay. Excuse me. I'm going to ask if Shirley Horn's family can come to the front. Shirley Horn's family, can you come to the front? Hey. Where'd they all go? Where?